Crosman 180 teardown. First thing you want to do is take off the CO2 cap and make sure that the gun is not loaded with any CO2s. Next, and as you might expect with most rifles, is to take the stock off, which in this case is 2 screws. That one's a wood screw. This one should be a machined screw. Okay, trigger blade is off. I'm going to kind of line everything up as I go so I know where it came from. Gently remove the stock. Now your stock has your trigger assembly in there. It's a spring and a piece of metal and your safety. If you need to get all that out, you know, by all means go online, check it out, see how to do it. I don't need to take it out, so I'll just set that aside. Alright, next we're going to work our way to the rear of the rifle. And take out this top screw right here. Okay, that's going to allow this little plug to come out. Go ahead and work down to the bottom. Another flathead screw. Now when you take this out, you're going to have a little bit of spring pressure. It's going to naturally pop out your whole hammer assembly. Next comes out the bolt. There's a flathead screw in here. There's your bolt handle, and your bolt should slide right out. Now before we get too much farther, I'm going to take my front and rear sight off. When you take your rear one off, you might want to note exactly where it's sitting, if it was shooting well for you and accurate. There goes that. You can take these off whenever you want. This is not like you have to take these off right now. You can take them off in the beginning, you can take them off the end. I wanted to get them out of the way because sometimes this barrel band is it's kind of just snug in place from being such an old rifle. It can be real sticky and hard to work with. So this kind of gives me an option of sliding the barrel out and leaving it in place. So take a smaller flathead and loosen up this barrel band screw. Now this one won't come out. Okay, loosen it up quite a bit. If you can slide it off towards the front, great. If not, if it's just too difficult, don't force it. Just wait. That's one of the neat things about these old rifles is, like, I have to, you know, I'm following directions and this is the next piece to come off. It's not going to come off. So what am I going to do? I'm just going to continue to take parts off. Eventually it'll loosen up to the point where I can, instead of pushing the barrel band forward, I can pull the barrel out. That's all. And next is this flathead right in your breech. I'm going to loosen that one up, and now I can feel the barrel and the gas tube starting to separate. Okay, so right there it's starting to separate. You want to be careful if your barrel band is still in place, because this could be brittle and you don't want to crack it and you don't want to snap it. But I'm getting, alright, I'm able to twist and rotate this barrel right out. There we go. You also want to be careful, right in here is your transfer port O-ring. So just be aware that that is there and it will come loose on you. See, there it is. Now my barrel's free all the way, and if I wanted to clean it, re-blue it, whatever I want to do, it's ready to go. The rest of the rifle internals is all here. You can see the power plant in there, the valve assembly, that is. Now this right here stud, you can unscrew this and it's like a donut shaped piece in there. One way to do that is to go to a vise, get a towel or a couple pieces of leather and clamp this in that, and then turn the whole assembly. And if it doesn't quite come loose, give it a little more pressure and try again. Doesn't come loose, give it a little more pressure. Try to avoid grabbing a pair of pliers and just grabbing onto this and twisting. You can really mar it up bad. With the barrel removed, your barrel band can slide right off. I'm going to go to the vise and get this loosened up, and then I'll come right back. Okay, back from the garage and got this to break free. Put that over there. And sometimes that piece that was screwed into, that little donut shape, will fall out. Sometimes it won't. I'm not really going to worry about it. Down in here you can see your valve assembly. Get you some light. Whoops. Down in there you can see your valve assembly, and it's got this slot in it. Now if you have a piece of flat steel that will fit down in this tube and fit in that slot, you can use that as a screwdriver and loosen it up. Here's a valve that's been removed. So what I'm going to do instead, since I don't have a special tool, is I'm going to use a big old screwdriver. Biggest one I can find. Go down in the tube. I'm going to find this slot. Okay, and I'm going to try to loosen this. Now you should be able to loosen it because this screw is still in place. So I'll go down in here, find my slot. Okay, might have to break it loose. A couple of turns and it's loose. Now if you loosen it too much, it may fall out. If it does fall out, just kind of keep everything in line, okay? Don't panic. We'll take this guy loose. This is a fresh rebuild, guys, so if stuff falls out, that's kind of one of the reasons why. Now, I can push with a screwdriver down in here, but I'd rather not. I'd rather use something like a wooden dowel, or, you know, worst case scenario, if you don't have anything else, you can actually use your barrel. Okay guys, once you get all this stuff separated, here's what you've got inside. This is the piece that had this stud screwed into it. Alright, now notice the threads are offset. So you want the larger space towards the front threads. You want to take note of that, take a picture, however you want to remind yourself that that's how that goes. Here's your valve assembly. Here's that pin I was talking about with the spring to it. Okay. On the back side you can see your piercing piercing needle. If you unscrew this, you'll have an inside plunger piece. You'll have this O-ring, which can be bad on you. A spacer tube. And then in here is your piercing needle, spring, a washer, and then even more in here is a felt O-ring and a mesh wire. Swinging it out, there it is. This is a mesh washer, okay, and it's basically a filter, and then the last thing in there is a piece of foam, felt. That piece of felt looks something like this. It's just basically a big felt O-ring, and what that does is it's a filter for the air coming out of your CO2 cartridge. So if you want to replace that, great. If not, you know, that's fine too. If it's all beat up, obviously replace it. So that's basically it, guys. You've just torn all the way down a Crosman 180. This is your hammer. So nice to get in there, clean it up a little bit. This is as far as I ever took it down. One really good idea, guys, is to get online and go to websites, you know, just do a search, and eventually you'll come across exploded views. You know, and ones like this are especially helpful because it shows this piece I was talking about. It shows which direction it goes in. It shows all your pieces in here and how they all kind of line up and go together. Thanks for watching.